So I'm gonna start out with obviously going through the whole process. So if you have any questions, you can either type them into the chat and we'll deal with it at the end, or you can, hold your questions and ask verbally at the end. So we're gonna walk through this because it's a long process for those who've gone through it. Okay. So a few things you're gonna need if you haven't gone through this already. You're gonna need your government issued ID and you're gonna need your proof of address. I've made a few different notes with regards to the proof of address. It has to be within the 90 days, a credit card or utility bill, and then a couple notes from Tara in regards to what will pass. It has to include the statement date, the due date, and it has to match your first and last name that you do submit with your government issued ID. Now, it's easiest to have either the physical copy with you, which you can then take pictures of, which I recommend then doing it via your phone, which I'll show you as I go through this, or you can already have both of these images, the front and back of your ID, as well as the proof of address already uploaded on your laptop or your other device that you can then choose to just upload. So those are the two main options to make things smooth. Okay. So, if you guys are familiar, this is the sign-up page that you guys have been given the link. I know there's a lot of different things on here, but the only parts that you need to worry about is your first and last name as well as your email. Don't need to worry about the company organization or the referral ID. The referral ID is for the referral program, which we're not worrying about in beta. So those are the only parts that you need to take care of. Okay. And then next. So after you do your first, your last name, and your email, you're going to have to create your password. Now it does show you whether or not you've fulfilled all of these requirements as it's wanting for the password. So when they all light up in green, then you know you're all good to go. And then you can click submit. So that shows it right there. And then as soon as you click submit, you will show up right here. It'll say you're going to have to register your email. So right here, you have to make sure it shows registration has been successful and then it will send an email with a verification link. So this is the next part. Now, what this will look like in specifically your email is you'll get two different emails. You'll get from T7X and then you're going to get from Nomics. So in the Nomics email, that's where you'll get the link for your that you'll have to click for to register your email. Now, if you are not getting these two emails or one of these emails to your email, you're going to have to message support and we'll help you through that to make sure you get the email because without that, you can't proceed to the next step. So if you're not getting these emails, please let us know. And then after you click that, you're going to go click the link and then it's going to say verifying your email. You're going to wait. And as soon as it says email has been verified successfully, that means you're all good to go and it'll redirect you to the next page. The nice part about this onboarding process is it'll kind of tell you in regards to little like information thing on the upper right hand side of the corner, at least with different stages. So that's been really nice. You need to make sure it's all green. That's how I like to make sure I know. Okay, so to redirect you here. So as you can see, this is all of the different steps you're going to have to take in the onboarding process, and we're going to go through all of them together. So first, we got the terms and conditions. You can scroll down and read all of it if you wish. It is long, or you can choose to print it, but the most important part you have to do is you have to make sure you click that you've read and agreed the terms. Again, you can scroll down and view it all and print. And the next portion, this is the ID verification. I know we have a lot of different options here, but this is the part of compliance for KYC that you have to complete. Now in the beta stage, the only thing that we'll be having available at the moment is just registering as a user. So you don't need to worry about any of these yet. Eventually, coming up soon, we'll be able to have you register as a business, the second option, but as of right now, that is not available and we'll let you know when that is. So at this part, all you're going to be doing is clicking on register as a user, and then you're going to click next. And this is what will pop up. So this is our lovely third party that will pop up and we're going to be proceeding through the whole KYC process. So you're going to click begin verifying. Now you can continue in this window as I will show you. This is where you can also switch to another device. Again, if you need to take a picture, I recommend doing it with your phone, or if you can have it all uploaded and all the docs already and images already on your laptop, then you can just click upload. That makes it the easiest. But first things first, we're going to click begin verifying, and then it's first going to go through what country government ID for is. Obviously, mine was United States. Next one, we have all of the different government ID options. There's more, there's a little bit more down there, but I just showed the top part. So I did driver's license, and then here's where it shows you can either take an image, which is a little really challenging to do on your laptop, so which is why I would recommend being able to do it on your phone if you're going to take an image, or the upload a photo, which is why you'd have it already uploaded and ready to go in your downloads folder or anything like that on your laptop. So I did not have an image of my license already, so I'm going to go through the process of me choosing to click and continue on another device. So I started on my laptop and then I proceeded to go through my phone. But again, you can stay through this whole process on your laptop or only on your phone, but I did switch. So I'm going to show you how that looks. So I clicked continue with another device. So this will pop up. You can either choose to send an email or use the QR code. I chose to use the QR code on my phone. And this is what it looked like. So from my phone perspective, I took did like in the image app, and then the little link popped up, and then it redirected me to here. It popped up in my web browser, and I continued and confirmed that I was switching to another device. And then I went through this process again where I clicked driver's license, and then here's where I was able to take an image of my driver's license. So this is what it looks like on your phone. Also does look like this on the web browser. Again, it's a little more challenging, I would say, to take a picture of the photo and of your driver's license and do this, but you totally can. So this is what it looked like here. You got to take a clear photo of the front of your driver's license. I did blur out mine, but I was successfully able to take the image. It was within the brackets. As you can see right there, so you have the little image. I made sure my head was there and then put my information right there. And then so make sure it's in good lighting and the lettering is continuing clear. Okay. And then I clicked use this photo. Again, if it wasn't a good photo the first time around, you can just choose to retake your photo. So it's as simple as that. And then it wants you to do the back of your photo, your government ID specifically for your driver's license. So I flipped it over. This is what it looks like. And then I matched it up. And then I was able to take a picture and I said, use this photo. And then this is the next step. So it wants you to take a position yourself to be able to make sure that you are who you say you are. So you click get started, and as you can see, I took screenshots as I was doing this part. Again, I did this part on my phone, but I can always go back to another device. But I chose to do the ID and my image of myself on my phone as that was easiest for me. So as you can see, you're supposed to look left and you're supposed to look right. So for me, I have hair, so I had to move it a little bit over to be able to then get a proper image of the other side of my face. And then when it says verifying, and it's all wonderful, as you can see, it shows with the indication of the filling of half the circle that you've already completed that. Now you can move to the next step. So there you go with that. And next stage, I put all of the different options for this Q&A, or not Q&A, the informations that it wants you to fill out, all the different options screenshotted here, because I know for me, I like to be able to know. So for employment status, you were able to pick full-time, this whole list of all these other different options. For industry or sector, you were able to input all of these ones. And then for the primary source of funds, you're able to pick any of these over here. And then how often do you expect to transact? You can choose daily, weekly, monthly, or occasionally. And then the last one is the estimate monthly transaction volume on the platform, and that's over here. And I clicked, I guess for this one, I indicated I clicked less than 1,000. And you just have to confirm that all those are true. And this piece is for compliance reasons. Gather a little more data. Now next, it does want you to confirm your address. So this will pre-fill with whatever you inputted or whichever document that you had inputted for your government ID. So for my driver's license, it pre-filled my address. If you had done a passport, then it wouldn't pre-fill your address or anything like that. So it depends on if your address is on that government form of ID, it will pre-fill here. But you can choose to change this because whatever address you input here has to match on your proof of address. So double check and make sure that this is the same as the address that you input here is also on the proof of address that you will show up. And so the next one I put right here, so proof of address is the next one. As we indicated at the beginning, what you have to do to fill that, I ended up deciding here I'm going to show you, I ended up deciding to continue back on my laptop since I had the document already on my laptop. So I click continue on another device instead of taking a photo. And I copied and pasted this URL like on my, I texted it to myself or emailed myself and then opened it on my laptop. But you can choose to also send an email to yourself, however works the best for you. And then I got confirmed whether or not I wanted to switch to another device again. So I continued. And then I uploaded my proof of address, and it says I was processing the document. Now, this is the very last stage of the KYC process, so this will take a little bit. And then as soon as you know that you finished it, it says you've completed your identity verification. You can click next or to the next screen to create your wallet. So at this stage, I remember I started out on my laptop. I moved it to my phone because I didn't have the images already ready. And then I moved it back to my laptop. So at this point, it's a URL specifically with Persona, which is what we're fulfilling our KYC through, which will be uploading all our docs there. So I need to go back to the original URL that I had when I was doing the onboarding process, which will also reflect. So as you can see over there, if it says inquiry with persona.com, you know that you need to, once you get to this stage, you can click out of that URL, but you got to go back to the onboarding URL. So, and then it also shows up here. So you go back to, as you can see, the onboarding page is the blue background with all the different steps that you're wanting to get complete. So once we've completed everything with KYC, it'll look just like this as I showed again. You've completed your ID and identity verification. As you can see, this pops up here. So you can choose to save your persona information, all the stuff that you uploaded, or you can choose to click out of it. Now, you have to click right here. You can click continue here or exit here. Those are the two options because you're not done yet. Once you do that, it'll look like this. You then have to indicate that you're clicking next. So again, when you get to this stage, you don't click X here, you click continue, or you click X here. So you can either continue to save your information there, or just within Persona, or just with us. And then you click next. This means that you're then all completed the identity verification step. And then you can say, yay, you've done that, and now you click next. So there's a few different pieces with that to make sure that you're able to proceed to the next step, otherwise you get stuck. Which I'll show you what to do if you end up happening to leave this URL. So we click next. Now we're going to the next part, the wallet setup. Now to clarify the wallet setup, everything that you just done with your KYC or KYB eventually, this is all then recorded on a blockchain. And it's telling then all of the things without the T7X ecosystem. It then refers back to this identity verification that's registered on the blockchain. So for this purpose, that's what you're doing. So all you have to do is click create wallet, and you're going to have to click next. Now, this you don't really have to refer to at all. This is not useful for being able to log into T7X. You have your email and your password already done. This is for your own personal creation because the wallet you're creating is associated with your KYC, and that's completely separate. But this is in your control per se. So you're going to save this information. You can choose to either print it or copy and paste it or screenshot it, however you prefer. But just store this because it's underneath you. It's not under us. This is separate. This is separate from us. So after you do that, you make sure you save it and you click next. Associated with this, just as a note, this will, the wallet will save a passkey associated with the device that you do this on. So if you do this part on your phone, it'll save this passkey to your phone. If you do this on your laptop, it'll save the passkey to your laptop. Again, you don't need to worry about this, but it's associated with that specific device. Anyway, so for mine, I have a Samsung laptop, so mine was doing a Windows key, so I clicked continue. The passkey is for nomixplatforms.com, which is what it's associated with. And then for me, I have my password associated with it is a PIN, or I put a fingerprint. So I put my fingerprint in there, and then it's all done. Now, once you get to account activated, that means that you've done the whole onboarding process and you're all ready to go. At this stage, you click Get Started, which will redirect you back to the login page. Now, for any point, if you get stuck or you click out of that onboarding URL that we've been in, the one that's the blue background showing all the different parts that you have to complete, you can go to trading.t7x.io and you can click Onboard Pending. So you can click Onboard here. This is where you will input your email and you'll click submit. You'll get an email that will then be able to give you a URL to take you back to the onboarding. So if for ever any point, if you click out of that onboarding URL that you were originally completing things through, you can then get it again via your email. And you have to make sure you click onboard, input your email, and click submit. So also, if you are confused at where you're at, if you have you've already inputted your email and your password, and you are not sure where you're at in the onboarding process, again, what I really like is that it'll show you where you're at. So for example, I'm going to show you a few different indications that will pop up in the right-hand corner, which you'll be able to tell where you're at in the process. So for example, you input your email, it says user is already onboarded. That means you've completed through the entire process and now you're ready to log in. So other words, you don't need to worry about this anymore. You can just input your email and your password that you already created and you can log in. The next one is if you input your email via onboarding and it shows that no user is found with this email, that means normally you still haven't verified your email yet, which means that you need to then check your emails. Again, what we originally talked about with those 2 different emails for registering your email. And if you didn't get those, then you have to reach out to us and we'll help you with that. And then last one is if you are still stuck in the onboarding process and you haven't completed, this is what it will show you. So it'll say your onboarding link has been sent to your registered email address, and it'll show you green. So if it turns green, that means you're going to get an email. It's going to look just like this for completing your onboarding. And you're going to click that link and it'll take you back to the onboarding site and you'll be able to finish it. Be able to kind of start over, you'll be able to finish the whole process there. So that's if you get stuck, that's what you need to do. Okay. Now, once it redirects and you can log in, this is what it'll look like. So you've already gone through at this stage, you've already gone through the entire onboarding process. You've clicked, your account has been activated, and now you've chosen to log in. This is what it looks like. This is the banner that will show up here. If you have already completed your identity verification, please wait for compliance to review. If not, click here. So essentially, if you've gone through the entire process and this is showing up here, you've already completed the onboarding piece, which means you've already completed all the identity verification that you need to do. You just need to wait. You don't need to do it again. So you've already completed it, so you just let it be. If you didn't, that means you have to click there. But again, so you've completed everything at this point. You just have to wait for compliance to approve you, which means it'll change your verification level, which means allows you to then trade. So this is what this looks like. Now, we've had a few different questions, so I'm going to go through the I guess you could say the movement of funds from the Prosperity wallet to T7X wallet. So I'm going to cross that a little bit and then we'll be able to go through questions if that's good. So this is what it looks like. If you go to my wallets, this wallet section, it's going to show you these. So it's going to show you all these different available currencies that you can then have. And as you can see, we have the trusted smart chain over here. Now this means to receive, send, and this means to receive. So I circled this portion, so then you'll know to then click on that because we're going to be receiving TSC into your wallet. So to be able to find the address to send funds, this part's a little bit more specific just because there had been questions, so I wanted to make sure we're all clear here. So again, at this point, we've clicked to receive your TSC. So you're getting your TSC address, which you'll send the funds to. So make sure it's the receive section, and then it'll show you a wallet address right here. This is the one that you're going to make sure it's TSC and it's receive. And then it's an OX it starts with. So you're going to copy and paste that into your Prosper wallet page over here. You're going to make sure you click send because the function is we're going sending from here, receiving over here. So TSC, Prosper wallet to T7X. And then you're going to copy and paste this address in here. And that's going to indicate the set amount. Now, yes, Ron. You have a specific question? You can unmute yourself, Ron, if you have a specific question.
You already answered it. Continue.
Oh, perfect. I would recommend, just so you don't lose any TSC, I would recommend that for the initial stage of moving your TSC from ProsperLink wallet to T7X platform, you do a very small amount. And you don't move any more until you confirm that has then been received. So really small amount. I do, very, very little, just so you can test. So for me, with anything with crypto, I always do a tiny bit amount, and then I do the larger after I've confirmed the whole process has gone through, and I copy and paste the address that's sent through. So it'll show in your, recent transactions, and you'll make sure you use the exact same address that it fully went through the whole process, so you don't lose any funds. That's what I'd recommend. But if this part makes sense, I think that is it, because I know we've had a few different questions associated with this, and I want to make sure we were very clear so you could kind of see, what that process was.
Miranda, to be clear, I want everyone to see that you don't have the dollar amount to send here of TSC. So make sure you're watching that. This is the amount of TSC coin. So keep that in mind, do the math in your head. And what would you say would be a small amount? Do you think 0.1, 0.2? What's a small amount you recommend to start as a test?
That's a good question. So I would look at according to the price indicator right now on T7X, and then kind of go just as small as you can. I like to go as small as possible, like very little. Like, for example, with like Bitcoin or Ethereum, I do like maybe $2 worth of the equivalent just for a testing portion, just to make sure it works. Since the pricing wise on TSC for now that I'm aware of is just is based on is in T7X, you can kind of check that pricing or just do as very little as you want. I would just do as small as you can, just to make sure the path is already set, and then you can do a larger amount after to make sure you don't lose anything.
So in that address block that you have highlighted in red, is that your TSC address is already in the top right-hand corner in that white bar for my wallet, right? For your Prosper wallet.
Yeah.
But the box in the red, is that where you would put the address of the wallet you're sending to?
Yes.
Is that correct?
So for here, it would be sending from, yeah. So I meant indicating by copying and pasting this there. So that's why I did the arrow associated with it, because that's where it should be filled in. So yeah, that's why. Technically speaking, so you're copying and pasting that there for the funds then to move over to T7X. Yeah, so if that makes sense. So copying and pasting this address here into here, and then this would mean that then the funds are going that way. So you're telling them where to go. And just make sure it's in the sending portion, which should work, yeah. Does that make sense?
Let me interject here really fast. Miranda said copy and paste. I highly recommend copy and pasting because
right here.
If you miss one of the digits, it can go to another wallet altogether. So make sure copy and paste as much as you can as possible, because sometimes an O looks like a 0, I looks like an L. So yeah, copy and paste. And second, I am monitoring the chat. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to type it in. I'll try to get that answered.
Yes, yeah, exactly what he's right. I would copy and paste the address and do very small amounts to preset the pathway so you don't end up losing large amounts. And you don't lose any, ideally. So let's see. I think that's it. Yep.